What's going on, everyone, and welcome to today's Wise 5 Picks stream. I'm looking forward to today's slate. I love these days where you have games kind of scattered all throughout the day. We've already got one game in progress: Arizona and St. Louis. First pitch kicking off, not kicking off. They don't kick anything off in baseball, but throw in the first pitch in probably a minute or two. Games all through
thinking about football season.
Yeah, I am thinking about football season. I had some Pro Football Reference pages up from your trivia question earlier in that you posted in the miscellaneous channel in the Discord. So I had to close those. That was like the last thing I did before the stream started. But yeah, we got games.
Were you fact checking me?
I was just curious. I was just looking. I forgot that Welker played for the Broncos, so I was like, was Peyton Manning just like a red herring in there? But no, Peyton Manning was not just a red herring in there.
Ravens that one year.
Yeah.
We honestly should have won it all.
Actually,
that was our best team.
Honestly, we should have won it all. Because we did.
I know, but Nick, if you look offensively, the Broncos, like that was yeah, whatever. We don't need to. We won it 2 years later, so it's fine.
All is well that ends well. So what's up, Larry? What's up, Skrilla? Glad to see both of you here. So you ready to hop into some picks?
We're in the dog days of summer right now.
We are in the dog days of summer. You know who's really in the dog days of summer though? Is those people up in the Pacific Northwest. Absolute madness up there right now. Have you read about that? Canada broke
10 degrees.
Three days in a row has broken the all-time countrywide record for hottest day. They broke their previous high temperature, I think, by like 8 or 9 degrees. It's hotter in a town northwest or northeast of Vancouver in Canada right now than it has ever been in the entire state of Texas.
It's crazy. That is wild. And also, real quick before we hop on into things, having some technical difficulties. I think my laptop is possessed. Are going to try to get an exorcist to get out the demons. So if anything happens, and also I think we're on a little bit of lag too, Nick, just from hearing you to me. So if we talk over each other, I think that's why. But hopefully all goes smooth. And I just wanted to give a heads up before we hop on into it. And also, T-Cherry, you're correct. 36 days, 60 days, actually 59 days till college football starts. So I'm counting down too.
Mm-hmm. I'm excited. I'm looking forward to it. So we're going to start off not with our money line play like we usually do, but actually with our game total pick, just because this is a little bit urgent as far as line moves are concerned. So we're actually going to take the exact same game at the exact same line that we won with yesterday. Kansas City, Boston, over 10.5 at minus 120. Hopefully, this is still here. I think it was still at 10.5 on Superbook. Okay, there we go. This is at 11 everywhere else that we looked. But there it is. Before it moves, Kansas City, Boston, over 10.5 at minus 120. If you get this at 11, I still think that's fine. But 10.5 is a much better number. So these two teams, yesterday, we had the over 10.5 as one of our wise picks. It hit. They scored 13 runs, I believe, in that game. And the pitching matchup today isn't really any better than yesterday's was. So Minor is better than Keller is. Perez is worse than Pivetta. I think it all evens out. Martin Perez is a guy that I really hate. He feels like he's always about to implode, but then he gets so many called strikes on pitches outside of the strike zone. It's insane.
Those guys are the worst.
I don't think it's going to happen today. I think that with the heat that's in Boston, I think balls are going to be flying. I think whatever contact he gets, it's going to be damage. It's going to be big time damage off the Kansas City bats. Also, Kansas City destroys him. Whit Merrifield, 7 for 18 against Martin Perez. Carlos Santana, 7 for 16. A guy like Hanser Alberto, Oh yeah, it's switched to 11 as we spoke, but we did get the 10.5. That's hilarious. I think that's the first time, Ben, that we've actually had a number up live on stream like this as it changed.
I made a point about that, Nick, and
I'm happy I
football
opened with this
season.
one. I'm happy I did this.
yeah.
I was saying there's a reason. But yeah, so the Royals are going to score runs. Mike Minor, pretty good pitcher. Sometimes pretty terrible pitcher. Other times very inconsistent guy. But again, he's a guy that some of the Red Sox bats have hit pretty well. Like JD Martinez, for example, is 9 for 16 against him. And again, Minor is a guy who is going to give up a lot of hits. He's given up almost a hit per inning this year. He's like a hit per inning more or less across his entire career. And with the temperature and the humidity in Boston, balls are going to be flying. I'd expect several home runs in this game. I think we're going to see a lot of base runners. And I think they'll be able to convert the base runners into actual runs today. So yeah,
I don't think I have anything left to say. I think he nailed it all.
Yeah, so we actually have one more thing to say. Hold on, actually. I have to change something real quick. Hold on, I have to log out of my Catwise account. There we go.
Nick, also there were some minor formatting changes, literally that updated within the last 10 minutes from Sunny, our web developer. So hopefully
great.
the format still fits. I was like, well, wasn't that timely?
Mm-hmm. Oh, oops, that's the wrong one. We need to go.
It was just
Here.
condensing some of the numbers, so it's more accessible on mobile.
Nice.
It looks good though.
It does. It looks great. So here's what the model has to say for this game today. So you can see total on Vegas Insider still at 10.5. That'll update to 11 pretty soon, I'm sure. But we have this game at 11.65 runs. We have Boston winning by about a run. So you can see a lot of runs. This is basically in the same ballpark as where we had it yesterday when it hit. Larry says, anyone who didn't get it, it's on DraftKings at 11 minus 104. Checked $4. Yeah,
Nice.
I think that's probably the best price you'll get. And here it is on DraftKings at minus 104. So yeah, anything, I guess nothing else to add on that one?
No, I think that's pretty much it. That's funny what you said about Perez though, because I feel like that's so true. Like one pitch away, and then he gets out of jams.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's got to be like right up there as far as called strikes are
He
concerned.
reminds me of the quarterback who fucking sucks, and then he just ends up getting lucky third downs. And you're
He's
"Come on,
yeah,
man."
he's like the quarterback who can't throw the ball deep, but yeah, will like
Picks up like a
consistently
third and
those
four
like
runs.
yeah, there's like 3rd and 7, pick up 8 yards on them every time.
Yeah,
He's like who's a good comparison? If that's our analogy.
let me think here. I don't want to say a name. Someone's gonna get offended.
He's like Rex Grossman or something. Or
Nice, that's
he's
a
or
nice-
Chad Pennington. He's the Chad
Kyle-
Pennington of pitchers.
Kyle Bowler.
Kyle Bowler. That's a good one.
Actually, I don't think he's that bad.
Well,
Chad Pennington.
so Cutler had the arm though. Cutler-
Honestly, Cutler is underrated. I'm gonna
Yeah.
throw that out there.
Cutler's like the opposite of this. He's the guy who's wild, will strike out a ton of guys, but then walk a ton of guys the next start.
How about this for a quick comparison?
Mm-hmm.
Ohtani to Lamar Jackson.
Love it. Best running back
pretty
in the
good.
league,
Yep.
according to
right.
himself.
We
and all the
better
haters.
we better move on.
Yeah.
We'll talk about this for hours.
All right. So on to our money line play, and this is a play that's got some pretty steep odds, but we love it so much. that we're going to throw it up here anyways. We're going to go with the Padres money line at minus 176. And I think that this is of any play that we've ever put up, this has the biggest odds.
Mm-hmm.
I think we've done like a couple 160s, but I think this is the first thing that's ever been even more than that.
And we're okay with this, and you're going to explain why, right?
Yeah. So Padres, Reds, here's the minus 176 on Superbook. I think it's a little bit even more expensive in some other spots. I would say up to like minus 180, minus 185. This is fine as a parlay piece, maybe even 200. Also, I think a run line is fine here. We just are stuck with money line plays.
Yeah, I was going to throw that out.
So a run line, I think, is also a great value here. But this is a game with Joe Musgrove on the mound for San Diego and Vladimir Gutierrez on the mound for Cincinnati. Both of these guys are pretty good. Musgrove obviously has a little bit stronger of a track record. He's been around for a while. Obviously threw a no-hitter earlier this year, so we know kind of what his upside is. But Musgrove is good for 7 innings. I mean, he's gone at least 6 innings, 3 straight starts. Gutierrez, on the other side, has been pretty consistently going like 5 innings. So 5 or 6 innings for him also. But his 5 or 6 innings are going to be worse than Musgrove. And the other thing here is that this was the game yesterday between San Diego and Cincinnati. It was a bullpen game for both teams. I think that there were 16 different pitchers that pitched in that, and it was a 9-inning game. So that's literally like a pitcher per team per inning, almost. Mm-hmm. So the bullpens are taxed on both sides. San Diego's bullpen is better. San Diego's bullpen is probably going to have to pitch a little bit less as well, so you should see the better relievers from San Diego. And San Diego has the better starter in Musgrove, and San Diego has the better bats. So I don't really see where Cincinnati's going to get any sort of edge. I think San Diego has the edge in every facet of this game. I think a lot of lines that you see in this minus 176 range, there's like something that the underdog has some kind of advantage in. But yeah. Here, I think San Diego just completely up and down the board, edge in every spot. I would price this more in like the minus 250 type range, if I'm being honest.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say 220, but
so is it expensive? Yes. Do I still like it? Yes. Let's take a look real quick at what the model has to say.
And Nick, real quick, I'm gonna make a point just about playing like larger odds like this. I think more times than not, yeah, we do say stay away from these, but I think that's just because more times than not, you're not going to find as much value with, these bigger favorites. That's not to say that they don't exist. So all we're doing is we're identifying them. And here's one. So that's something I just wanted to explain.
Yeah, totally agree. So also you can see on the model here, we have San Diego winning by a 1.5. And what's wild is that when the model on the year has a favorite winning by between 1.5 and 2 runs, they are 27-3 straight up. So it doesn't really matter what odds you're getting. If you're hitting at 90%, it's looking pretty good. We had one of them yesterday with the Cardinals money line that hit. Looking forward to another one here today. I think this is like the ultimate model sweet spot. So I'm happy to pay a little bit of an extra price at minus 176 to stack this money line.
Yeah. And Padres, a little bit of a misleading score yesterday. They probably should have scored 9 runs. So
yep.
I I expect their bats to continue, and they're gonna put up some runs today again.
Yeah, absolutely agree. For anybody who wasn't watching, we had Padres team total at 5.5 as one of our picks yesterday. They finished with 5 runs, but the game was 5-2. So Padres had 5 runs with 1 out in the top of the 4th inning, and with runners on first and second base. From that point, they got 9 more guys on base, and they could not score a single other run. They left 16 guys on base. The record since they lowered the mound is 18 in a 9-inning game. Mm-hmm. So the Padres had a historically, depending on what you want to call it, either bad luck on sequencing their hits, or just terrible clutch hitting, or whatever. But it was infuriating to watch.
It was I wasn't watching, but I was following the box score, and I was like, sheesh.
Mm-hmm. They left the bases loaded 4 times. And left multiple guys on base like 2 other times.
So, Nick, for those who like to dabble in parlay game, I got one for you.
What is it?
Padres money line and Houston money line.
What is that? What is that parlay at?
That comes out to, that's basically plus 109.
Plus 109?
So
that is pretty nice.
Not bad.
So do we trust Houston today? Houston's lost 2 in a row to Baltimore.
They're due, Nick.
We do. Oh, do we? Oh, do we? How much do we trust Houston?
I trust them.
I think we trust Houston so much that we have Houston team total over 5.5 at -112 as our third wise pick of the day. That was a pretty smooth transition there, I thought.
It was. That was not planned.
No, that wasn't planned at all.
This is all improv, guys, off the top.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we're actually gonna retire from betting on sports and just become.
Nick, you know, there's a
improv
Twitch,
comedy people.
It was Twitch, YouTube, or whatever, but they would literally just say like randomly like pick or they'd pick a game, and then the 2 guys would randomly have to defend a side of like the pick they liked. It was actually kind of entertaining.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So there we go. There's your Astros over 5.5 at -112. Ben, if you want, you can start this one off.
Yeah, let me try to pull up my computer is 1 second here.
Yeah, Ben's Discord crashed 4 times in an hour while we were chatting earlier.
It hasn't crashed yet on stream though, so that's
knock on wood.
I know I shouldn't have said that, damn it.
I shouldn't have knocked. My dog thinks that there's somebody at the door.
Yeah. Okay. So, this is just, it's Matt Harvey Day, as they say on Twitter. He's been bad. He's really, really struggled, and we almost considered playing a Yurfie here. I think the reason why we didn't is because Garcia on the other end has been first innings, but
yeah, Harvey's also actually been kind of good in the first inning. Like, relatively speaking.
Yeah, I mean, he's been blown up. He is blown up. I might just play this because I just feel like it should be a play. But anyways, we're on the team total here for Houston, and I think they're going to get the job done offensively going up against Harvey. Harvey's not going to get out of this game without giving up at least 3 or 4 runs. So keeping it pretty simple here. Model likes it a lot, and yeah, I'm feeling good about this one after 2 disappointing offensive days. Actually, just games in general from Houston. So
yeah, I really don't like their due type narrative, but I mean, against Matt Harvey, just everybody tees off against him.
Yeah, I mean,
he's a great pitcher to take out your frustrations on.
And you're gonna get balls that you can hit, so it's a good combo, and it's a good hitting team. I mean, I think offensively, Houston's got to be top 10 for sure. I would say, right, Nick? And
I think they're actually the best in the league over the last month.
Yeah, have to be up there. I mean, they just have with Houston is they have lot of teams, like one, for example, is my Rockies. They have a decent top half, and then they don't have a good bottom half. And I think Houston, there isn't really like holes. So
Yeah, there's no
they're just
weak
always
links.
going to string. Yeah, they're just always going to string base hits together, and then you flip the lineup back around, and then they have power too. So
Yes, I mean Houston has everything. So in the month of June, I have the actual stats up now. 146 WRC plus for Houston, best in the league by 22 points. So they're 22% better than literally every other team right now. They're walking more than anybody else, 11.4% walk rate, highest in the league in the month of June, 20% K rate, lowest in the league in the month of June. That's a great combination. If you're walking more than anybody else and striking out less than anybody else, that's amazing. In addition to that, they have the highest batting average in the league in the month of June at 298. Put that all together, and it's just really an unstoppable combination. They also have tied for the most home runs in the league in the month of June at 43. Like, what more can you ask for? They're hitting for the best average in the league. They're hitting for the most power in the league. They're striking out the least in the league, and they're walking the most. And they're facing Matt Harvey.
Yep. Do you think people are finally over the whole Houston banging off the drum thing, as far as like their bias on betting or betting against them?
I mean, if anybody's taking that into account in their betting, aside from thinking that maybe Houston sucks because they were cheating, then that's just a clown move from the start.
Hey, people have their biases. You know that, Nick.
Yeah, oh, for sure. But I mean, you don't make money by betting against your biases like that.
Yeah, especially if you're taking Matt Harvey or the Orioles plus 250 today, like that's ballsy.
It is. Matt Harvey, just some stats: 7.54 ERA this year, 1.74 WHIP. He's given up 95 hits in 68 innings against the best batting team in the league. It's just a recipe for disaster.
I also read somewhere, I don't know how they calculate this or if this is even accurate, but I did, and I'm going to share it anyway. But Matt Harvey's like the worst fielding pitcher too as well. I don't know how they calculate that. Probably just errors and like.
Yeah, there's different things. You can also look at like his range. So balls that go near him, like what percentage of those get fielded by the average pitcher, and then how many does he field, and you can kind of see how much above or below average he is in that regard.
I'm trying to find one thing Matt Harvey's good at.
Allowing base runners.
Because he's not walking a shit ton of guys, but
well, I mean, it's hard to walk guys when you just get lit up the second you throw a pitch in the strike zone.
Nick, I'm trying to help him out here, all right? And regardless, even if he was not walking guys, Astros don't. They don't chase a lot, so they're gonna neutralize that. So yeah. Any way you look at it, this is a good play here.
Yeah. My only concern in this is Houston putting up like only 4 or only 5 on Harvey, and then a shutdown performance from the bullpen somehow. That's my concern.
If Matt Harvey throws a no-hitter today, I'll shave my eyebrows off.
I'm gonna hold you to that.
Yeah,
if Matt Harvey throws a no-hitter, I'll shave my beard. Which is nothing. No, it's not bold at all. You've probably never seen me without a beard, though. I look approximately 13 years old without a beard.
I look like 5 years younger too when I shave.
All right, so you ready for the next pick? Okay, so actually both of these picks are going to come from the same game. Let's start out with the Nerfy. Just because. So our Nerfy pick today.
Nick, real quick, Matt Harvey is Nathan Peterman for NFL comparisons, but continue.
Yes, I think that's well.
Okay,
he's Cam Newton. Used to be really good, and then he got hurt, and now he sucks.
Wow, that's
That's a good comparison, right?
I mean, yeah, you're right. I mean, he was drafted number 1.
Like
Matt Harvey
Nate,
back
Nate
in
Peterman
2010.
didn't have a peak.
That's damn. I like that. That was good.
We should do like a comparison stream, just for fun. I think that's good content.
Yeah, I
Let
agree.
let us know if you guys would tune into that.
Yeah, or drop a picture and we'll compare them after we're done.
Yeah, we can just do it now too. Okay. So our Nerfy play today. Oh.
Oh no, I like this player prop, man.
Okay, well we're starting with the Nerfy, and then we're gonna get to the player prop.
Oh, okay.
So the Nerfy, we're gonna go Mets Braves, no run first inning at plus 114. So the lines for this one vary quite a bit across books. So I'm pretty sure DraftKings still has this, plus 114. I think I saw like a minus 108 somewhere on Superbook. But I think minus 110 or better is kind of the playable range for this. Would you agree with that, or slightly different?
Yeah, I would say so.
I think the fact that we got this at plus 114 is what pushed it onto the stream.
Yeah, totally. And I think at this point, like, and it's always been the case, but I think even more so now, like, we got to be so selective with these, which we have been, but now we're really trying to find value here. So I think we have something good here with this one.
Yeah, I totally agree. So let me see if I can go find what I have. Well, okay, so pitching matchup in this game: David Peterson and Max Fried, or Fried. Both lefties, which is important here, because both of these teams do not hit well against left-handed pitchers. If you look at like WOBA or WRC Plus or whatever, these are two of the worst 4 teams in the league over the last month hitting left-handed pitching. Both of these guys have had success against the opposite team. So Peterson, not as big of a sample size against the Braves, but Acuna's 0 for 5 against him. Albies is 0 for 5. Freeman's 2 for 9. Dansby Swanson 1 for 7. And Max Fried, with a bigger sample size, has had even more success. So a guy like Pete Alonso, 2 for 15. Frankie Lindor, 1 for 7. Dom Smith, 0 for 4. Michael Conforto, 2 for 17 against Fried. Not all those guys are going to hit in the first inning, but a lot of them will. So I think that both of these pitchers, regardless of who kind of ends up at the top of the lineup, are in position for success. Plus 115 on Bet365, perfect.
Yeah, Nick.
Yeah.
You're gonna have a few teams, and we've seen this every game with these. The Dodgers, you got the Padres. I mean, now the Cubs with Schwarber, or sorry, not Cubs.
Nationals.
Nationals, and then the Braves here, where people are scared to play these nerfies because of guys like Acuna and Freeman. But dial into the matchups and look at it that way. I think you're fine here. So
yeah. So additionally, both of these guys have pretty terrible first inning ERAs. So where are they? So Peterson, first inning ERA this year is, hold on, I have to switch this to by player. Peterson first inning ERA 4.95, Fried 4.21. So actually not terrible, but not
average.
Not great either. But both of these guys, especially Peterson, the runs that they give up in the first inning are all kind of clumped together, which I think is the perfect kind of pitcher to have on the mound to create value for these nerfies. Hold on. Wait, I lost my first inning filter. So those numbers were wrong.
Ooh.
So if you look at Peterson and Fried in the first inning, ERAs of 6.75 for Peterson, 6.55 for Fried. That's what I thought they were. So Peterson giving up 10 runs in 14 first innings, Fried 8 earned runs, 9 total in 11 first innings. But both of them are guys, like I said, who clump together runs.
Yeah.
So if you split this up onto a game level for Peterson, he's actually 11 wins, 3 losses on his Nerfies. Because he had a game where he got blown up for 5, he had a game where he got blown up for 4, he had a game where he allowed a solo home run, and the other 11 games have been clean first innings. So that's a guy that's a more successful Nerfy player than somebody with a lower ERA who's more liable to give up a home run every other start, say. Fried is not as extreme as that. But a lot of his ERA comes from one start where he gave up 4 earned runs. I mean, that's 4 of the 9 he's given up on the year in the first inning. So all those things put together, I think those ERAs is kind of why we're getting such a big number, the plus 114 or the plus 115 like you see on Bet365. But these are pitchers who, if they don't get blown up, are pretty good bets to get out of the first inning clean, and you shouldn't expect them to get blown up like that.
You said it.
I did. I said it. So, player prop coming from this game. This is the second time that we've ever had a prop like this. So we're going to go Michael Conforto to go hitless at plus 152. So this should still be up. Just got to find the game. Plus 154. Even better. So Ben, you got anything to say about this?
Yeah, I think for starters, he's been cold. One hit in the last 4 games, I believe?
I think it's actually even more than that. 1 hit in his last 19 at bats, which spans 6 games, including 2 pinch hit appearances.
Gotcha.
So yeah, in his last 4 starts, 1 hit.
Yeah, and then career-wise, not great numbers against Free too as well. I think 2 for 17 career.
Yeah, 2 for 17, including 8 strikeouts.
So, yeah, I mean, at plus 154, you gotta love it here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, and you got to think that Conforto's going to get 4 plate appearances probably. But I mean, even if he has just like a 20% chance of getting on base or getting a hit in each of those 4 plate appearances, I think his expected hit total should still be under 1.
Mm-hmm. And that's a really good way to look at it. Like, you have to assume that they're getting.
Yeah, so we've had one of these up before, which with the exact same kind of logic, and it hit. So looking to go 2 for 2 on player to go hitless props with this one.
Nick, didn't we have Peralta?
Yeah, it was David Peralta to go hitless against Brandon Woodruff.
Gotcha.
And that, I mean, so also we did get a little lucky with that. So he went 0 for 3 against Woodruff and then got pinch hit for after Woodruff came out. But still, I mean,
and I think we had a Merrifield, but it was like stolen bases, right?
Yeah, well, we had an over hits for Merrifield once, and we also had a Merrifield stolen bases. But yeah, that's all I got.
Not much more to say about that one.
Yeah, I mean, that's all part of the. Yeah, I mean, we said everything there is to say about that. You got anything else, Ben, or anybody in the chat got any other games you're interested in today? Cubs game total under 8.5. I don't want to touch the Cubs game total. It's a bullpen day, I think, for Milwaukee, and it's just kind of hard to handicap what the Cubs are going to do. I mean, the Brewers have a lot of really good relievers. The Brewers have a lot of pretty trash relievers. Also, is it going to be 4 or 5 innings out of whoever, Trevor Richards? But probably not, because he's maxed out at 3 this year. So I don't really want to touch the bullpen game.
And nothing.
Yeah, I think Aaron Ashby's opening. Trevor Richards, I see listed as a primary pitcher. So we're probably going to see 5, 6, 7 pitchers from Milwaukee today. Oh, Aaron Ashby, is he like making a full start? Or is he going to do like 2 innings at the beginning? So Jabo says Toronto -1.5. Blue Jays game today. Yeah, I mean, it's just a little bit hard to trust exactly what we're going to get out of Steven Matz. That was my big concern here today. So he's coming off the COVID list, and he's going to be on some kind of unknown pitch count. So if a big part of that handicap is Steven Matz shutting down Seattle, I'd be a little hesitant there. So Matz threw a 60-pitch bullpen session on Thursday. Manager said that he's going to have some kind of pitch count, but we don't really know what it is. Blue Jays offense is very liable to blow up Justin Sheffield, that's for sure.
That's very true. I feel like every year, if you're betting baseball, you naturally have that one team that you're always biased for. And for me, I feel like it's the Blue Jays. I feel like they're always a good bet.
Yeah.
So that's why I get scared when people bring them up, because I'm like, I like them again, but I like them the last. So.
And yeah, Bill. So your Gutierrez prop, I was kind of looking at that. So the thing that concerns me about this is the fact that it was a big bullpen game yesterday for both of these teams. Cincinnati used like 7 or 8 pitchers out of the bullpen. So I'm a little bit concerned that Gutierrez is just going to get a little bit of extra run. That concerns me from the perspective of the strikeout prop. I think that's probably a good thing for the money line if he goes a little bit longer, for the Padres money line that we have up here, if he goes a little bit longer than he should. But I'm a little concerned about Gutierrez getting an extra inning, rack up an extra strikeout that can push him from 4 to 5. And also some of his under 4 halves. I mean, 2 of them were 4s, and then 2 of the other unders were 3s in his first 2 career starts. But I do think I'd lean the under for Gutierrez. Again, I'm just scared about the potential extra workload that he might get. Although, yeah, if it rains and he has to come out, that would be great for the under.
Don't bet it on that, though.
Anything else?
I think I'll have a player prop for the NBA tonight, but I'm going to save it for subscribers. But it's been a really weird NBA year. I mean,
it's been a really weird couple decades for the NBA.
Yeah, but especially this year because Kawhi's hurt, Giannis is hurt, Trae Young hurt.
Everyone's hurt.
Interesting. Everyone's hurt.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's gotten to the point, Nick, where people were blaming that on like the restart, like happening early, which I get, right? But I think at a certain point, like, I think injuries just naturally happen.
Yeah, I mean, it's got to be a fluke that so many of them happen in such a short time window now.
Yeah, like
right. I mean, Young and Giannis in back-to-back games.
Yeah, every injury now, but people are like, oh, this is what the NBA did to these players. They started too early. But I'm like, I get that, but at the same time, it's like injuries do happen. I mean, Giannis jumped up and landed wrong on his leg. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, well, the NBA rigged the court to injure Giannis.
Like, I get it if it's like a hamstring pull or something like that. Like, that's more like volume of playing. I like soft tissue, right? ACL isn't a soft tissue muscle.
Yeah,
so.
that's just like a one-time freak occurrence that creates
like people were saying like, oh, Adam Silver, gotta pay for this, buddy. I'm like, wait, what?
Yeah, also, like, isn't it better for the NBA to have their stars healthy and not, like, already eliminated? Like, Brooklyn's out because of injuries. LA's out because of, at least partially because of injuries. Like, it's good for the NBA for those teams to be in.
But it also is good for the NBA's bottom line to get more games in. So.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Do you think the NBA is rigged?
On Bookit, I said, I don't think the NBA is rigged. Or I said, I don't think sports are rigged in America, but I said if there was one sport that was rigged, it would be the NBA.
Well, I mean, we already had a ref within the last 15 years go to jail for rigging games.
It could be so hard to pull off now with social media and technology, but
I don't think so. I mean, you just influence it with foul calls.
Mm-hmm.
Right, there's no consistency already, and there's no accountability.
So I get that, but then is it rigged for gambling purposes? Like, is someone in on it? Is the next question.
I think so. So, I mean, Tim Donaghy had mafia connections.
Yeah, he did.
I mean, and he said
I'm just
that
saying, I feel like that stuff would be...
He hasn't named any names, but he said that there were other refs involved.
All I'm saying is it would be way harder to pull that off in 2021.
Yeah, I think so.
Not saying it's impossible. Russian table tennis, on the other hand.
Yeah, easy peasy.
Oh, college World Series is 100% rigged. I'm just kidding. I think he's asking for place.
Yeah, I haven't really been following. I mean, my take, who is it supposed to be? Rocker? Is it Rocker today for Vanderbilt?
Oh, yeah. They're like, is he going to be able to play in that MLB with his weight? And I'm like, Colon.
Yeah, like, how many years did Bartolo Colon pitch?
Hello.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really know anything about College World Series aside from the fact that Leiter and Rocker are absolute animals. So if they're on the mound, looking good, and if they're not, I saw Mississippi State put up a ton of runs yesterday against other Vandy pitchers.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
but I don't know anything about it aside from that.
Nick, what about metal bats in baseball in MLB?
I don't see a point to it.
More runs.
Okay, here. So how about this? How about we just juice everybody and everything up? So metal bats make bigger seams on the ball so the balls break more. Let the pitchers use whatever the hell they want. You just it's like giving them all steroids without actually giving them steroids. So the pitchers can do the crazy shit, like make the bat a little bigger.
But Nick, what I'm getting at though is I want more runs in baseball. So the pitchers can't use sticky stuff, but the hitters get to use metal bats.
Mm-hmm. So what they could do is they could put like a little bouncy ball inside the baseball.
Yeah,
I guess it's kind of already like that to an extent, but like they just up that. So you see like 700-800 foot home runs just flying off the bat.
What about the mound being lowered?
What about the mound being lowered so much that it's underground? It's like a 4-foot cavity in the field.
So everything's like a rising fastball just because.
It's the only thing you can physically throw. Okay, that's probably taking it to the extreme.
Hey, I just want people to, the future generations to enjoy baseball the way I did as a kid.
Yeah. Well, here's a better question maybe. Why isn't there like an experimental independent baseball league, kind of in the same way that there is with the Arena Football League. Just jack up all of the rules to the extreme.
I'll answer that question because I feel like the MLB will look at other organizations like the Korean Baseball League and then those other overseas leagues, and then they've done stuff like that. Like that's where the runner on second base started. Mm-hmm. There's some other things they've done, so I think they just take a look at that. But the problem is Manfred. I don't think he's competent enough to like figure out like what works and what doesn't, because the runner on second in extra innings, I don't really think at this point most baseball fans like that.
I'm indifferent on it.
I'm kind of on the fence on it, but I don't know. It's that
sacrifices made specifically pitcher sacrifices.
Hey man, people are like dying out there, and you're like, "This is what you wanted."
Mm-hmm. Who's gonna hit the first home run that deflects off a pitcher?
Stanton,
just straight back, skim the head, blink up, all the way out.
He's like, do I keep running the bases or do I like help him out? And they're like, keep going.
Uh-huh. Put little trampolines on their heads.
Yeah, or the softball pitchers wear those like protective masks. But yeah, trying to convince like a Kershaw to wear that, you'd be like, no, I'm retiring. Hey, I'm just throwing out ideas.
Okay.
I'm not an expert.
Ben, I have the best idea ever. Okay, are you ready for this?
Yeah.
So we're going to combine baseball and hockey together. So the pitcher wears goalie gear. And they pitch to the batter. And there's like a net behind the pitcher goalie. And the batter's objective is to hit the ball back into the net and score a goal on the pitcher goalie. And the pitcher goalie can make saves on it.
I would say if he can get a goal, he goes to second base.
Banana baseball rules.
The Savannah Bananas. I know about these guys. Some people
that's a fantastic name.
Yeah, their whole thing is like the marketing, but it's great. Like they sell out every game. If a fan catches a foul ball, it's an out.
I love it.
I love it. Walks allowed. If the pitcher throws the fourth ball, it becomes a sprint. Player will take off sprinting to first while the catcher has to throw the ball around to every defensive player on the field before it comes live.
Yeah, Rule 7, one-on-one showdown tiebreaker. Each team picks one pitcher and one hitter to face off. The defensive team only has the pitcher and the catcher on the field. All other fielders are off the field. If a hitter puts the ball in play, he has to score and make it to home to get a point. If the ball is put in play, the pitcher is allowed to chase the ball and throw the ball to the catcher for a play at the plate. If the pitcher strikes him out or gets him out before scoring, he doesn't get a point. If the batter walks, he can take second base, and the hitting team will bring another batter to the plate.
I like it.
That's wild.
Nick, look at number 5. That's my
Batters
favorite.
can steal first base. That's fantastic.
Yeah. That's
no
great.
bunting. Bunting sucks. Enough said.
Wait, are these? I don't think they actually play by these. I think it's just more of a gag. Do they?
I feel like they do. I don't know.
Man.
I mean, I know nothing about this. They have a schedule. Oh, you can watch the games live on Bananas Insiders.
Get that subscription.
Mm-hmm. All the games are sold out.
Yeah, I knew about the Savannah Bananas because they have all sorts of crazy entertainment.
Ben, what are you doing on August 1st?
August 1st.
There's tickets available for playoff game number 1.
In Savannah, Georgia?
Probably in Savannah, Georgia.
Well, I wonder if they travel somewhere, but
so the other teams, Macon's in Georgia. I don't know where Florence is. Lexington's in Kentucky. Spartan.
Nah, I want to
think
go.
is in
I want to
South
see a
Carolina.
game at home. Get the full experience.
Yeah, you gotta make it out for the team. Or what if you're what if you're a fan of the other team and you like try and interfere and swat the ball down so nobody can catch
Yeah,
it?
that's great.
Just like start a massive brawl in the stands.
Playoffs, intensity heats up.
I think it's a good idea.
See, if they just implemented like some of the rules are a little extreme, but I mean,
I think they're not extreme enough.
The walking one,
I think
like
you should
that.
be able to. I think in the showdown, the pitcher should be able to throw the ball at the hitter, and if it hits him, he's out.
I don't really quite understand.
I'm just kidding. I
what
don't think
they
that's a
mean
good
by
idea.
if you walk, you have to throw it to every player. I mean, isn't a guy going to get to at least second by that point?
Yeah, but I mean, I think the idea is just throw the ball in the fucking strike zone.
Yeah. It's going to be consequences for your actions there, so. And then you get that pitcher up to the majors, and he's going to be like, I don't fucking throw strikes. Or sorry, I don't throw any walks. I'm conditioned.
Wow, it's nice to have fielders behind me.
He's like batting. He's like running to first base. They're like, dude, it's a 1-1 count. It's funny. Like, do you know the rules of baseball? It's funny. All right, I'm ready to sign off here.
Yep, I think that wraps it up. Thank you to the two of you who are still here. Appreciate that. Enjoyed the learning about the Savannah bananas. Snook, appreciate that.
Yep.
I'm gonna have to check out a game on Banana Insiders. Yeah, so we'll be back
All right, guys.
tomorrow with more picks. You know how it works. We'll see you then. Good luck as always.
All righty, see you guys.